Did you know your car's engine suffers the most damage the very moment you start it? Those first few seconds can silently take years off its life, and you'd never even notice. Chances are, you might be making costly mistakes every single time you turn the key. But here's the good news. Fixing them now can save you thousands in repairs later. Let's start with one mistake almost everyone has made, at least once, without even realizing it. And trust me, your engine isn't happy about it. Mistake number 16, revving a cold engine. Revving right after starting your car is one of the worst habits you can have. When the engine is cold, the oil is thick and hasn't fully circulated yet. That means the moving parts are running almost dry, grinding against each other with minimal protection. Do this often and you're setting yourself up for expensive repairs. Cold revving also forces rapid temperature changes, making the metal parts expand unevenly. This stresses pistons, cylinders, and gaskets, leading to cracks, leaks, and long-term damage. The bearings, which are tiny but crucial, wear out quickly without proper lubrication. Once they fail, you're looking at a costly engine rebuild. The fix? Simple. Don't touch the gas when you start the car. Let it idle for about 30 seconds. Drive gently and avoid hard acceleration until the engine reaches its normal temperature. Mistake number 15. Not pressing the clutch fully when starting manual. Cars, if you drive a manual, this small oversight can have big consequences. Not pressing the clutch all the way down before starting doesn't just strain your car, it can also cause sudden movement if the car is in gear. That means a sudden lurch forward or backward, risking collisions, property damage, or even injuries. Top of that, the starter motor has to work harder than it should. Instead of only turning the engine, it's also fighting resistance from the transmission. Over time, this wears it out. Faster and starter motor replacements aren't cheap. The fix. Always press the clutch pedal all the way down before turning the key. It takes no extra effort but saves you from unnecessary repairs and dangerous situations. When you don't press the clutch fully before starting, the transmission takes a hit. Bearings, gears, and other critical components go through unnecessary stress, leading to premature wear and costly repairs. Many modern cars are equipped with clutch interlock switches that prevent this mistake. But if yours doesn't have one, it's on you to build the habit. The fix? Always press the clutch all the way down before turning the key. Even better, double check that you're in neutral before starting. Mistake number 4, restarting your car too soon after shutting it off. Switching your car off and immediately turning it back on might not seem like a big deal, but it's quietly damaging your vehicle. Each restart puts heavy strain on the starter motor, drains your battery, and can even mess with fuel efficiency. Unless your car has a built-in stop-start system. It's not designed for constant restarts. Every time you fire up the engine, the starter goes through a high-stress cycle. Doing this repeatedly, especially within short intervals, accelerates wear and shortens its lifespan, meaning a costly replacement much sooner than expected. Then there's the battery. Every restart pulls power, and if the engine hasn't run long enough to recharge, you're slowly draining its reserves. Over time, this leads to premature battery failure and another unnecessary expense. Even your fuel economy takes a hit. Idling does burn fuel. Modern cars are designed to optimize efficiency at startup. Repeated restarts force your system to recalibrate fuel injection over and over, wasting fuel and reducing performance. The fix? If you're stopping for just a few seconds, don't shut the car off. You're parking, wait at least 10 to 15 seconds after shutting down before starting again. And if your vehicle doesn't come with an automatic stop-start feature, don't treat it like it does. Your starter and battery will last much longer. Mistake number 13, starting with a faulty immobilizer. If your immobilizer isn't working right, don't ignore it. A malfunctioning system can leave you stranded, put your car at higher risk of theft, and even drain your battery with false alarms. Forcing starts without addressing the issue will only make things worse and more expensive. Immobilizers are there for a reason. After they became mandatory in Europe, car thefts dropped by nearly 50%. But if your immobilizer isn't recognizing your key fob, your car might refuse to start altogether. Some drivers keep trying turning the key again and again, but this only wears down the battery and starter motor. Worse, If your immobilizer isn't functioning properly, your car becomes a much easier target. Studies show vehicles without proper immobilizer protection are stolen, up to 11 times more often than those with working systems. The fix? If your key fob isn't being detected, don't force it. First, check the key battery. If that's not the issue, look at your dashboard. Many modern cars display immobilizer warnings. And if the problem persists, get it checked by a professional before it leaves you stuck somewhere. For extra security, make sure your car's software is updated. Some manufacturers like Hyundai and Kia have already released updates to fix known immobilizer vulnerabilities. Some manufacturers, like Hyundai and Kia, have even released software updates that dramatically reduce theft risks. But if you drive an older car without an immobilizer, consider installing an aftermarket system. It's a small investment that could save you from a massive headache later. Mistake. #12 Overusing jumpstarting your car might feel like a quick fix, but doing it too often is dangerous for both your wallet and your safety. Constant jump starts can damage your battery, strain your alternator, and even fry sensitive electronics. Here's the truth. Modern cars are packed with delicate systems, your ECU, airbags, power steering, fuel pump, all of them can be taken out by a single power surge from an improper jump. If the ECU gets hit, you're not just dealing with a dead battery anymore. You could be facing a repair bill that includes the alternator, fuel system, or even the entire onboard computer. And it doesn't stop there. Every time you jump start, the alternator is forced to work overtime to recharge a dead battery. This extra load can cause it to fail prematurely, leaving you stranded with a car that won't start or charge. Worse, an incorrect jump can cause the battery to explode. And this isn't rare. About 62% of reported battery explosion injuries involve chemical burns. The fix? If your car constantly needs a jump, the battery isn't the real problem. Something deeper is going on. Get it checked and fixed before it costs you even more. And always jump start carefully. It's following the correct procedure to avoid expensive and dangerous mistakes. Before we move on, if you're the kind of driver who likes avoiding costly car mistakes, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. Think of it as a seatbelt for your wallet, keeping you safe from expensive breakdowns ahead. Mistake number 11. Starting your car with low fuel. Driving with your fuel tank near empty might seem harmless, but it's one of the most expensive bad habits out there. Running low on fuel can burn out your fuel pump, clog the system, and even trigger engine misfires. Ignore it long enough and you're looking at a massive repair bill for something that could have been easily avoided. Your fuel pump relies on gasoline for cooling and lubrication. When you drive on fumes, it pulls in air instead of fuel, causing it to overheat and wear out fast. A new fuel pump can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,200. All because you didn't fill up sooner. That's not the only risk. Over time, fuel tanks collect dirt and debris at the bottom. When you run low, that gunk gets sucked into the system, clogging filters and injectors, making your car sluggish and less efficient. Ignore it long enough, and you'll be dealing with serious engine damage. Low fuel can also cause misfires, especially at high speeds. Misfires create unstable combustion that overheats your catalytic converter, one of the most expensive parts in your car to replace. And if you run completely out of fuel, you're not only stranded, but could also face heavy fines in some areas for blocking traffic. The fix: don't wait until the fuel light turns on. Make it a habit to refuel before you hit the last quarter of your tank. It's one of the simplest ways to protect your engine and your wallet. Some mistakes only make your car harder to start, but others, they can land you in jail. Let's dive into one of the worst things you could ever try when starting your vehicle. Mistake. #10. Trying to hotwire a car. Hotwiring isn't just outdated, it's dangerous. It's illegal and almost guaranteed to fail. Modern vehicles are built with advanced security systems that make hot wiring nearly impossible. And attempting it can leave you with major electrical damage, safety risks, or even criminal charges. Here's the reality. If you're locked out or your car won't start, hot wiring isn't the answer. Since the mid-1990s, most vehicles have used transponder keys and immobilizers. Even if you bypass the ignition, the engine won't run without the correct electronic signal. Try to mess with it, and you risk frying your Akua repair that can easily cost thousands. And that's not all. Tampering with wiring can accidentally trigger safety systems like airbags, which can deploy suddenly, causing injuries and even more costly repairs. Then there's the legal side. In most places, attempting to hotwire a vehicle is classified as auto theft, punishable by heavy fines and even prison time. And yes, even doing it to your own car can cause suspicion and land you in legal trouble. The fix? Don't take shortcuts. If you've lost your keys or your car won't start, call roadside assistance, use a spare key, or hire a locksmith. And if theft is your concern, invest in modern security, add-ons like steering wheel locks or GPS trackers. Modern problems require modern solutions. Mistake number 9, push starting an automatic. If you drive an automatic and it won't start, never try to push start it. Unlike manuals, automatics rely on hydraulic pressure to engage gears. Without the engine running, there's no pressure, so no matter how hard you push, it won't work. In fact, trying can cause severe transmission damage. Automatic transmissions depend on a torque converter and hydraulic pump. When the engine's off, the pump isn't functioning, which means the gears can't engage properly. Strain internal components, increase friction, and even cause overheating. Worst case, a ruined torque converter or total transmission failure repairs that can cost thousands. The fix? If your automatic won't start, use a proper jump start with a working battery or call roadside assistance. Don't force it. Solving the root problem is always cheaper than destroying your transmission. Mistake number Y, skipping fluid and filter checks. Neglecting fluid and filter checks before driving might seem harmless, but it's a mistake that can leave you with seized engines, failing brakes, or slipping transmissions. Many drivers skip this simple step, and it ends up costing them big. Take engine oil, for example. Running on low or dirty oil means moving parts grind against each other with little lubrication, leading to rapid wear and even engine failure. A seized engine replacement can set you back for $1,000 or more. While routine oil changes over 100,000 miles, this might only cost around $1,100 in total. The math is simple. Maintenance saves money, and it's not just oil. Low transmission fluid can cause rough shifting, overheating, or complete transmission failure. Dirty air filters reduce fuel efficiency, while clogged fuel filters make your car sluggish and less responsive. Neglecting brake fluid checks can even compromise your stopping power, turning a routine drive into a dangerous situation. The fix: build a habit of checking your fluids and filters regularly. A few minutes of prevention can save you thousands in repairs and keep you safe on the road. Mistake number 7, starting with a weak battery. If your car struggles to start, don't ignore it. Running on a weak battery is a hidden mistake. It can destroy essential parts and leave you stranded at the worst time. Here's why. A weak battery forces your starter motor to work overtime, leading to longer cranking times and overheating. Starters usually last 30,000 to 60,000 cycles. But under constant strain, that lifespan can be cut in half. Once it fails, you're looking at a costly replacement, and it doesn't stop there. Your alternator also pays the price. When your battery can't hold a charge, the alternator has to pick up the slack, working harder than it was ever designed to. That added stress shortens its life and can lead to premature failure, which is not a cheap fix. Most drivers don't realize this, but a weak battery even affects fuel efficiency. A struggling electrical system forces the engine to burn more fuel, costing you extra every mile. Worst of all, a dying battery can cause a sudden total electrical failure, stalling your car when you least expect it. The fix? Don't wait for your battery to die. Have it tested regularly, especially before extreme weather. Avoid frequent short trips that don't give it enough time to recharge. And if you rarely drive, use a battery maintainer. A small investment now prevents a massive headache later. Mistake number 6. Cranking the starter to long. Holding the key in the start position for too long might seem harmless, but it's one of the quickest ways to destroy your starter, drain your battery, and stress your engine. Here's the danger. Cranking for more than 7 seconds overheats the starter motor, wearing down its internal components. Do this repeatedly, and you'll end up with a car that won't start and a repair bill you don't want to see. Remember, starters aren't designed for continuous use. They're built for short bursts only, and there's more. Every time you crank, you're draining the battery. Prolonged attempts not only weaken it faster, but also reduce the alternator's ability to recharge it properly, creating a cycle that shortens both components' lifespans. The fix? If your car doesn't start within a few seconds, don't keep cranking. Stop. Wait about 30 to 60 seconds, then try again. If it still won't start, diagnose the real issue, whether it's fuel delivery, ignition, or a weak battery. Forcing the starter only makes the problem worse. Prolonged cranking doesn't just overheat your starter, it also drains your battery faster than it can recover. Do it often enough and you'll shorten your battery's lifespan. It's forcing an early replacement. Even your engine isn't safe. Continuous cranking puts stress on the flywheel and bearings, creating unnecessary wear and potential long-term damage. And if your car refuses to start, let's be honest, there's an underlying issue. Excessive cranking won't solve it. Instead, you'll waste fuel, pump up emissions, and risk bigger problems. The fix? Keep cranking attempts short, 5 to 7 seconds max. If the engine doesn't fire up, wait a few seconds before trying again. Still no luck after 3 or 4 tries? Stop. At that point, you're likely dealing with a weak battery, bad spark plugs, or a fuel system issue. Mistake number 5. Never start your car if you smell fuel. If you ever catch a whiff of gasoline before starting your car, stop immediately. Turning. The key could be one of the most dangerous mistakes you make. Fuel leaks are no joke. Gasoline is highly flammable, and even a tiny spark can ignite vapors under the hood. According to the National Fire Protection Association, most vehicle fires happen in cars over 10 years old, often due to worn-out or deteriorating fuel components, and it's not just fire risk. A faulty fuel system can flood your engine with excess gas, leading to misfires, poor performance, or even an overheated catalytic converter, one of the most expensive parts to replace. It's often costing up to $2,500. Beyond the car, leaks release harmful chemicals into the air. Even small drips add up, creating pollution and possibly landing you in trouble with local regulations. The fix? If you smell fuel, don't risk starting the car. Check for leaks under the vehicle. Inspect the fuel cap, and if the odor lingers, have your car towed to a mechanic. Fixing it early prevents fire, keeps your engine safe, and saves you from a financial disaster. Mistake number 4. Starting your car when the battery warning light is on. That little red battery light on your dashboard isn't something to ignore. If it's on, starting your car could lead to engine stalling, electrical failures, or a completely dead battery when you least expect it. Here's why. The battery light doesn't just mean your battery is weak. It usually signals a problem with the charging system. If your alternator isn't working properly, your battery won't recharge. That means rapid power loss, dimming headlights, and even a stalled engine. Imagine that happening in heavy traffic or at highway speeds. And here's the kicker. Ignoring the light can damage multiple systems at once. Your car relies on a steady electrical supply for everything from ignition to power steering to fuel injection. Failing charging system puts all of that at risk, leading to costly chain reaction failures. The fix? Don't gamble with the battery light if it comes on. Get your charging system inspected immediately. It could be something as simple as a loose belt or corroded connection, but left unchecked, it could snowball into major repairs. Mistake number 3, starting your car with the headlights on. This one seems small, but it adds up over time. When you start your car, the starter motor demands a huge surge of power, sometimes over 300 amps. If your headlights or other accessories are still running, they compete for that power. The result? Slower starts, unnecessary strain on the battery, and extra wear on the starter motor. Do it often enough, and you'll cut down your battery's lifespan, leading to one of the most common roadside emergencies: a dead battery. And here's something most drivers don't realize. A weak battery forces your alternator to work overtime after the engine starts. The harder your alternator works, the more fuel your car burns just to keep up. That means wasted gas and added wear. The fix? Simple. Before starting your car, switch off your headlights, radio, AC, and any other power-hungry accessories. That way, your battery can focus all its power on starting the engine efficiently, saving you money and keeping your electrical system healthier for longer. Mistake number 2, ignoring weather-specific startup precautions. Here's where a lot of drivers get caught. Weather plays a huge role in how your car starts, and ignoring it can quietly destroy your engine or battery. Take cold weather, freezing temps. Thicken your oil, making it harder to circulate and lubricate the engine properly. So that means more friction, more wear, and more stress every time you start up. On top of that, your battery loses about 30% of its power at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 60%. At 0 degrees Fahrenheit, no wonder winter mornings are full of cars that won't start. And it's not just the cold. Extreme heat can evaporate fluids faster, weaken your battery, and stress cooling systems. Meanwhile, heavy rain can sneak moisture into electrical connections, causing shorts or misfires. The fix: adapt to the conditions. In winter, let your engine run for at least 30 seconds before driving, giving the oil time to circulate. In hot weather, check coolant and battery health often. And in heavy rain, avoid parking in deep puddles where water can reach electrical components. Mistake number 1, ignoring unusual noises before starting your car. If your car makes a strange sound before or during startup, that's not just quirky behavior, it's a mechanical warning. Ignoring it can lead to engine damage, electrical failure, or even a complete breakdown. Take piston slap, for example. If you hear a hollow, rhythmic tapping on a cold start, your pistons may not be fitting snugly in the cylinders, slamming against the walls instead. Leave it unchecked, and it wears down the cylinder walls, causing oil consumption issues and loss of compression repairs that can run into the thousands of dollars. Or there's low-speed pre-ignition, LSPI, and aggressive knocking in some turbocharged engines when fuel ignites prematurely under high pressure. This isn't just noise, it's violent misfiring that can shatter pistons, bend connecting rods, and leave your engine in worse shape than a crash. Hear a high-pitched whine or a rapid clicking. That's often a failing starter motor. Shit. Too far, and it can overheat, damaging the flywheel along the way again. Repair that'll empty your wallet. Even worse. A sudden clunk followed by silence could mean hydrolock, when coolant or water has leaked into the cylinders. In that case, forcing the engine to turn over can snap a connecting rod or even crack the engine block, instantly totaling the motor. And then there's the dreaded metallic pinging or knocking, a sign of detonation, where the air-fuel mixture ignites unevenly. Left unchecked, detonation can literally melt pistons, crack cylinder heads, or blow a hole through your engine. Modern cars do have sensors to minimize the risk. But if the noises don't go away, it's a red flag you can't afford to ignore. The fix: simple. If your engine doesn't sound normal, stop, listen, and investigate before starting again. Catching the problem early can save you from catastrophic damage and thousands in repairs.